Chris, good morning, man. Thanks for joining us. I appreciate it, man.
No, thanks for having me on.
All right, so you've got a press conference today. What are we talking about?
Yeah, so we are coming down the home stretch for the a vote on California air regulations for cars and trucks, which is basically a ban on the sale of new gasoline-powered cars and diesel-powered trucks. So we are heading towards a vote to mandate the purchase of electric vehicles, starting in just a few short years. As we're trying to communicate with the public. This is going to be one committee, one vote, and it's over. This isn't going to the full legislature like we're normally accustomed to, and we're urging the community to reach out to legislators to urge their colleagues on the Regulations Review Committee to vote against this, and we're hoping that legislators are paying close attention to the widespread ramifications from the cost of people's personal budgets to the cost on businesses, because this electrification dream that seems to be they're bent on making a reality is going to be extremely expensive.
What's the worst case? Give me the case scenario, how you see it unfolding if, in fact, this all goes into effect. Give me a few basic examples. What's going to happen?
Yeah, so I'll talk about trucks first. The mandate to go to a electric-powered truck. Right now, a diesel engine can run a tractor-trailer about 1,400 miles. Its electric equivalent can only go 300 miles. So you need to make 5 trips. And just to kind of put it in perspective, that's like driving from Hartford to Miami, Florida. You would need to stop. You need to have 5 stops until you get to Miami. It's going to cost money, and every time you stop, it's going to be a 10-hour recharge. So it's going to significantly slow the process down, increase cost. It's just ridiculous. And for people in their homes, an electric vehicle costs thousands of dollars more. And I was just over the weekend, I saw that most Americans live paycheck to paycheck. And for the government to mandate something that will increase costs, and everyone needs to drive, right? We got to get to work. We worship, we go to school, and that's going to cost thousands of dollars more in upfront costs.
We talked about this before in the past, but we don't have the infrastructure to do this, right? I mean, how does that come into play here?
Absolutely correct. So if you just look at the ISO New England, which is the electric grid operator, they're ones that are responsible for making sure that we keep the lights on. This summer, they had to go up to their backup reserves just to keep the lights on when it got a little warm out. Last Christmas Eve, we almost had a blackout in Connecticut because they came so close. All this is public information. So the grid, as it currently exists, doesn't have enough power to meet the demand of today. Forget about adding thousands and thousands of electric vehicles and trucks to the demand that's out there. So we have grid reliability issues, and sort of the joke of this is supposed to be about clean air, right? And the grid, our electric grid in Connecticut, over 60%, and sometimes it gets even higher, is generated by fossil fuels. A lot of people think that the nukes are the ones who provide us all this energy, and it's just not true. It's natural gas, and when it gets really cold in the winter or really hot in the summer, the grid goes to oil and coal to generate it. So we're really just we're lying to ourselves about emissions. Let's do it to the best interest of Connecticut residents. Let's not overburden that grid. Let's not expose ourselves to California like blackouts, because that's what it is. And we're not fear mongering. Those are just the facts. There's just not enough electric supply to keep up with all of these electric plants, because this is not happening in a silo. They're also pushing electric heat pumps for heating, and when you put all of that together, you're really jeopardizing keeping the lights on, keeping people's their health and human safety of our residents, because without power, you don't have heat.
So the last 2 paragraphs you just said are incredibly important. I want to make sure everyone out there understands what you just said, because it's vital to the hypocrisy that we are witnessing unfolding in front of us. So you are saying, and we've been saying this for a long time, but you are corroborating and certifying what I've been saying forever. So now you've got this infrastructure in place, these electric outlets all across the state of Connecticut and all up and down the eastern seaboard, across the entire country, that electricity doesn't just appear out of nowhere. It's not magical, like it's not like inert. It's like always there. You got to create it, right? And like you had said, in the best case scenario, it's created by nuclear, right? But that isn't really the case always, although it seems like the left has now lurched to the left, and now all of a sudden wants more nuclear. But so you're saying to everybody today that when this all gets put into place, and if it were to get voted in, and you're charging up your electric car on some November morning, getting ready to go to work, you're charging it up essentially from electricity that's being generated through fossil fuels.
Absolutely correct. There is no denying that our electric grid here in Connecticut is a fossil fuel created electricity. Natural gas, coal, oil, that's where we get our power from for the most part. Like you said, a little bit of nuclear. We even burn trash for electricity. How ridiculous is that? And there's just not enough. I think where the state and some legislators are missing the mark is that what we really need is diverse energy supply. There are lots of clean options out there, but one size fits all doesn't work for Connecticut. And again, it's not only risky, it will result in the lights going out.
We become California's little baby stepbrother. I mean, we might as well change the marketing slogan to the California of the East, Connecticut, the California of the East, because we just follow them along. Whatever they do, we seem to tag along and do the same thing. And they're in a colossal mess out in California. Can't we see this coming? All right, so how many vehicles, if this were to pass, what's under the umbrella? I mean, can I use my leaf blower anymore, or do I have to throw that out?
Yeah, no, this applies just to cars and trucks. So it would only apply to new sales. And talking to a number of car dealers, they are telling us that the used car market will see this will have a huge inflationary impact, because as people go to the used car market because they can't buy a gasoline car that they want that's new,
right,
it's going to be a huge supply of new buyers that will go there, and it'll push prices up. So, what these regulations actually do is they have the biggest impact on low and middle income working families in Connecticut, and whether that's being forced into the used car market because you don't want to buy that new electric car, or you can't afford to buy that new electric car. And also, in an August hearing, Eversource said that it's going to cost billions of ratepayer dollars. That means higher electric rates to make this a reality, just to move the power around. Not even on the generation side, but we don't have the distribution. The power lines and the transformers are going to need to be upgraded so that we can actually get the power to where it needs to be so people can charge. And so who pays for those billions of dollars? The people who couldn't afford the EVs are going to pay higher electric rates so people who with higher income can drive EVs that they can afford already. Just our position is let people choose what's in their best interest instead of telling them what they have to do.
100%. All right, so anything else we need to know for today?
I strongly urge you to call your state representative, your state senator, and ask them, if they're not on the regulations review committee, to have their colleagues vote no against these regulations on November 28th.
Listen, it's always a pleasure talking to you. It's been too long since we talked to you last time. Chris Herb, again, president of the Connecticut Energy Marketers Association. And again, we appreciate you. And thank you. We'll talk soon, okay?
Thanks a lot. Thanks for having me on.
You got it. Have a good one.